All right, well, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High House has blessing our day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High House has body. Two are naturally alive, man. And yeah, man, you know what, man? I'm gonna get into this, man, because I was just reading Matthew 22 real quick, and because like your house, I said, His words are spirit, man. So we gonna get into this, man, because this is just going into how, like, yeah, how shy would Christ would make them look foolish a lot of times. And the Pharisees and scribes and those rulers, man, they weren't stupid men. They were very intelligent, smart men. But they would just there was just how shy, like, would just confound them a lot of times too. And not in the aspect of just trying to win an argument per se, honest, because he didn't even step them a lot of times. They would tempt and try him. But this, like how shall I say, his words of spirit, because we're gonna look at this second Edges, and of course that second Edges 13 is going to like Yahushua's second coming when he's fighting against the other nations and things of that nature, and taking many crowns, but also different from the other kings and rulers of different nations around the world. But this is even going to no. We're gonna look at this now. The second Edges 13:12, because the 13:8, because this is not only lining up with Revelation, but one, when it says that how scared they are, they're going to be to fight Yahushua, and but this is also talking about, like, the Pharisees, man, like, scribes and Pharisees, because yeah, let's get this too. Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 8, because remember this word, Durst. Honestly, we gonna remember this word. It says, and after I beheld, lo, they all they were gathered together to subdue him, or were sore afraid, yet there's fight. So see that? Yeah, so it says, Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 8, it says, yet after and after this I'm read this again, I'm sorry. And after this I beheld, and lo, which they were all gathered together to subdue him, and were sore afraid, yet there's fight. So see that? So see, we're gonna look at this too, because here's the Pharisees. This is gonna see how this relates to the gospel and the witness and the testimony, because, like, we're gonna see this with Matthew 22 verse 41. It says, while the Pharisees were gathered together, see that? The Pharisees were gathered together because they was trying to trap Yahushua's words again. This is kind of trying to subdue him. Yahushua asked them. So yeah, let's get this too. Matthew 22 verse 41. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahushua asked them, saying, what think ye of Christ, or Mashiach? Whose son is he? They said unto him, the son of David. Here, verse 43. He said unto him, how doeth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, the Lord is unto my Lord, sit thou on the right hand till I make my enemies thy footstool. So yeah, he's calling Psalms 110 and verse 1. If David then call him Lord, how is he his son? Exactly. Verse 46. Verse 46, and no man was able to answer, verse 46, let's read this again. And no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. So see that? Pretty much what Yahushua is saying unto him, because I had to kind of reevaluate the scripture a little bit, because I used to think of something else, but pretty much what Yahushua is saying in a roundabout way, saying the same thing he said in John 8, pretty much. So I am before Abraham was. Abraham would have rejoiced in my, if he saw this day, honestly, just like David would, in all prophets in the past. That's why I said greater. He said many have desired to see what you have seen, honestly, when he was talking to his disciples and his apostles, man. So that's all he's saying right here, man. But notice how it says that they didn't durst. Like, no, let's focus on verse 46. It says, and no man was able to answer him that a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. So see that, man, they didn't want to strive with him anymore, or fight in the spiritual aspect anymore about the word, because, like, Yahushua, that's why the word says strive not with a mighty man. Now, of course, it's talking about on a natural sense, but spiritually, man, Yahushua was that mighty man, honestly, man. Because let's look at Ecclesiastes, also on Sirach chapter strive, verse 8, verse 1. Strive not with a mighty man, least thou fall into his hands. And that's what they did. And that's why they they didn't do that anymore, man. They didn't bother him anymore after that. And that's why let's get this Luke real quick, because he was that mighty man. Honestly, mighty in the scriptures, man, mighty in the word, because he was the word. Luke chapter 24 and verse 19. It says, and he said unto him, what things, and said, and he said unto him, what things, and they said concerning Yahushua of Nazareth, which was a prophet, which was a mighty prophet in deed and word before Yahweh and all the people. So see that, because Yahushua walked it. He not only talked it, but he walked it. He lived it, honestly, because that's why it says he not just only hears the words but doers. Man, it says it's in the law and Jeremiah, Revelation, like yeah, the Gospels everywhere, man. Romans, yeah, the letters, it says that, man. Yeah, so it says, Luke chapter 14, 24, verse 19. He said unto them, what things? And they said concerning Yahushua of Nazareth, which was a prophet indeed in word before Yahweh and all the people. So yeah, man. So see, yeah, that's why Psalm says he teaches fingers how to fight, man. Not only, of course, naturally, but spiritually, man. Honestly, because yeah, man, that's why it says this in the Second Ezra 13. Now this Second Ezra 13, they said that the nation's gonna be scared, but they still gonna fight them, just like in Egypt, because like we dealing with the same God, honestly, man. So yeah, man, because yeah, Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 8, it says, but this gospel witness testimony was, man, it's talking about the Pharisees, because weren't they gathered together to try to do him, to entrap him in his words, to accuse him? But like but they would still, but after Yahushua's response, man, like he confounded them. They was afraid. They didn't want to ask him a question no more, man. So yeah, let's get this Ecclesiastes. Second Ezra 13 verse 8. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet Durst fight. Yeah, so exactly. So that's kind of what's going to happen when Yahushua returns. They're going, because that's why it says in Revelation they're well because of him. They're pretty much, what it is, a well to damn near pass out the faint, going to be scared like a horror movie. Going to be like one of these, as if they saw Michael Myers or Jason or something like this. But they're going to even worse than that. But they're still gonna fight, because the Most High Yahushua is gonna do what he did with Pharaoh, harden their heart to fight him. So, yeah, man. But anyway, man. Yeah, but see this in the aspect they want to subdue him or fight him, but they didn't but they didn't do that anymore. They didn't bother him until they was time to kill him. But verse Matthew chapter 22 verse 46, and no and no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth to answer him, ask him any more questions. So see that, man, durst means to pretty much be bold, honestly, just have some courage. That's what all durst really means, man. So yeah, man, hopefully it's edifying, man. So peace, man, because yeah, man, it's so important that we read this, like the brother Akor said, from the Most High House's perspective, because the whole book is about them. So hopefully it's edifying. So much love to y'all brothers and sisters. So peace.